Cannot hear Lester. Lester, are you muted? I can't hear you.
Hey, Alvin, what's up?
There you are, Mr. Lester D'Souza. It's that time of the week again, buddy. It's already Friday.
Thank God it's Friday.
Yeah,
Today I got my second jab and I was sleeping today.
So you're all vaccinated and you're all set to go, man. So you're a free bird now. You can party big time, eh?
Oh, yes. And you too, I think. You're also vaccinated, right?
I was vaccinated. I finished my second dose, I think, before the end of March. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
I'm a seasoned player, you see. All right. So I think it's time. We're on time for once. It's 7 o'clock in Dubai. It's 8:30 in India, actually 8:33 in India. And it's past 11 a.m. in the United States on the East Coast. Today is another day of Tea Talk Live on TNG. And before we know it, it's Friday again and another new episode. And of course, we have someone very interesting today who I'm going to introduce. He is on time. In fact, he's been there before any of us. He's been waiting. He's all eager to be talking to us. And Lester, I see somebody else in the waiting room, a person, Hida Saju. Do you know the person?
No.
Can you send him or her a message, please, on chat and find out who the person is? Well, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever in the world you are. It is Tea Talk with TNG and we are live. We are going to be inviting our guest for the evening, someone who I met recently, like a few of the others who we had on our show. I met him in Dubai, very inspiring, a good-looking, handsome, young American guy, smart. I mean, words can't describe what this gentleman is, but I'm going to speak a little about him before I permit him and admit him into the room. He's going to be joining us very soon, and he is going to be talking to all of you. And I'm sure you're going to be all ears listening to this one person. And right now, he's in the United States. Of course, he's talking to us from there. He'll be talking to us from the US. He will be in Dubai very soon. And who knows, he's going to be in your neighborhood very soon. So probably he's going to be in India, he's going to be in Australia, he's going to be in Malaysia, Canada, he's going to be in UK, he's going to be everywhere. And who are we talking about? We are talking about the one and only Bertrand Stephen St. Louis. He is the host of one of the more inspiring podcasts around Free Talk with Mr. B. It's not only popular because it offers ordinary people the opportunity to freely share experiences as a way of giving back. It also works because Mr. B, as he is popularly known as, is a self-made man. He is raised by a single mom who went on to excel in everything he did and also morph into an inspirational coach along the way. Free Talk with Mr. B allows us all to listen and glean benefits from the wealth of our accumulative life experiences and wisdom that sees participants from around the world sharing life lessons and experiences without prejudice, making the world a better place, one episode at a time. Mr. B is with us today to share some of these gems with us and to talk about his incredible journey from a bachelor's degree in business management to 35 years in the energy industry, training, developing, and managing operations systems, and now an inspirational speaker. He's an inspirational coach, and as I said earlier, popularly known as Mr. B. I spoke quite a lot about this man, and I said he's young. He is young, but he's got 35 years. Lester, I hope you heard that. 35.
In fact, I've also briefly met Mr. B at the conference, and he looks somewhat similar. He's got the aura of James Bond.
Wow, he's listening. He is in the waiting room listening to all this. Yeah, he is. Actually, he reminded me of the same, by the way. 35 years of experience behind him. Man, this guy is only 35 years old. He started working from the day he was born, I guess, since he was born. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. I'm admitting Mr. B onto our platform. He's going to be live with us in a few seconds. TNGlive for you. There he is. Oh, my, Mr. B. Can you hear us and can you see us, sir?
Yes, how are you?
Very good. You're looking good. You've got a wonderful studio, I must say. Looks pretty cool with all the backdrop over there. Free talk with Mr. B.
Thank you. Thank you.
As
Hello,
always.
Mr. B. Hi, this is Lester here.
Hello, Lester. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. As I told Alvin, you look somewhat similar to James Bond in that aura.
Well, he's got his cup of tea. He's already sipping on it. Well, Mr. B, you met Lester at the Dubai conference at the Hyatt Regency. You had a chat with him. Yeah, so Lester's in the studio. I'm in my house and you are in your workspace, as we can see. Thank you for joining us, coming on board. By the way, I want to ask you, do you know this person, Hida Saju? Is he part of your team? He or she? I don't know. A person by the name of Hida.
Oh, yes. I have fans all over, so I shared the link for people to come in.
Okay. So you'll have to share the link to our Facebook page, which is the TNGlive Facebook page, because everyone's on that page watching it live. But on the Zoom meet, it's only the three of us because the two of us are the host and you're our guest. So we're talking to you, but everyone can see us live on the TNG platform, on TNGlive, on the talent networking group, on your page. You can share it onto your own profile. You can share it on anybody's profile. You can share it in any group. Everybody can see us. You can put it on YouTube. And we will also send you the link of the recording, which goes onto YouTube as well. So sorry, Haida, nice to have you there, but we'll say hello to you. Please go onto Facebook. Look for the Talent Networking Group or TNGlive. You'll find us there. Please come and join in. One of our admins will be happy to welcome you there. They'll definitely get you in and you'll be part of our family thereafter. Well, Mr. B, thank you for joining us. Really a pleasure, to have you on our show. We have just 1 hour, so we're not going to be wasting too much of time talking about things that are not supposed to be spoken here. But I think you are in New York, are you? Where are you based right now?
In Houston.
Oh, in Houston. Oh, right.
Yes.
That's a favorite place of mine. I'm all the time there because I come to Dallas. I have friends in Dallas, so we go quite often to Houston as well. We come there for holidays. We have a good time. I have a lot of childhood friends actually who live there. Nice place. It's a bit hot, isn't it?
So look forward to having you over whenever you're around.
Well, the next time, and I'm sure before that you're going to be in Dubai, so we're going to get to see you here.
Yes.
We're going to have
we can definitely interchange.
Yeah, and we're going to have a tea in person, and that's going to be our cheers to tea talk.
Right.
All right, great. How's the weather in Houston, Mr. B?
Today is wonderful, and I think it's about 25 degrees Celsius or something. And so it's not raining, so everything is quite nice today. I think the sunshine came out just for you.
It's nice to
Wow.
okay, we have a lot of sunshine here, and it's very hot, of course, because I don't know, Lester, what's it today? Probably 40s, I think. I don't know.
40, yes, it's 40 degrees centigrade.
Yeah, it's 40. So it's getting, it's already summer. And in the next month or so, it's going to go into the 45s and stuff like that. But it's all good. We are indoors, so we're okay. We're not feeling the heat. It's a wonderful time. Well, you're lucky you got good weather, but you're indoors, and I'm sure you're not feeling or enjoying the weather outdoors, right?
Right.
Cool. After we're done, go outside and have a blast. Well, Lester, shall we start the day? Okay, first of all, thank you to our sponsors. We've got a couple of good sponsors. One of them I see just joined us, actually. We've got our official media partner, which is Ivan Alvis, all the way from Sri Lanka. He writes some wonderful articles about TNG and about our talents. He notices good talent and he writes about them, which is very good. He writes on the newspaper called The Island, which is in Sri Lanka. Of course, you have a lot of talented Sri Lankans who also sing on TNG. And Ivan has been a very great support, not only to us, but to all of them as well. We have my brand there. I am also a sponsor with my brand Alto A3, which is my new perfume line I'll be launching end of the year. And we have River Sheen, which is a music school in Sri Lanka. Melanta Pereira teaches, and that's his school. He teaches music. And he also teaches music online. So it doesn't have to be only physical. He teaches music online as well. So anyone from anywhere in the world, get in touch with him and learn music online. So thank you to our sponsors, without whom we wouldn't be able to be running these shows, obviously not. But again, thanks to all of them and to our guests like you for coming on our show. And I think without further ado, Lester, I'm going to hand you over to start, I think, with your first question. And if you're ready, please go ahead, say hello to Mr. B, and let's start the evening.
Right, let's start. Let's start the evening. In fact, Alvin has mentioned, your whole lifespan, 35 years in energy industry, training, developing, and managing operation systems. And now you're into podcast. So, Mr. B, could you tell us what was growing up like? Let's start from the beginning.
That's a long time ago.
Only 35. No, Mr. B, only
Maybe
35
around
years ago.
35,
Come on.
yeah.
It's a long 60 years since
What?
I am in my 60th year this year.
Wow.
And many roads traveled. So I think it's exciting to think about the places and the many places I've been. I grew up in the West Indies. I think we have a very strong kinship to Asia, in that we always play cricket against India, Pakistan, and the area. And back in the days, we won, but I was such a small kid, I don't follow cricket anymore, or don't know much about it still. So it's still fascinating when I was in Dubai that I spoke to so many of my peers about the sport. But that's the island of Trinidad and Tobago. That's where I grew up. And from there, I came through to California. And so there was about 30 years in California. California was like a blessing because of meeting my wife there. And after 40 years of marriage, she still encourages me to go back to California, please. But we're settled in Houston now.
Cool.
Right.
All right, Lester, sorry to interrupt you and Mr. B. The reason I admitted Haida Saju is since she, I think it's a she because I see a picture there. Haida, if you're listening, if you can hear us, please say hello to everybody here. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. Is it Hida, Haida? Hida,
Yeah,
can you hear us?
She's connecting to audio now.
Yeah. Okay. For all the viewers who are there watching us, the only reason I admitted Hida, Haida is because it's a way to show you all that if any of you have questions for our guests that come on our show every week, yeah, get in touch with one of us, because then what we could do is we'll select maybe 2 or 3 of you who we will then invite to come live on Zoom so that you get to speak to our guest. You can ask a question to our guest and interact, for a minute or 2. So this way you are part of our live Tea Talk as well. So all those who are watching, if you want to be part of our live show, do get in touch with us, because then we'll have you on our live show. And since Mr. B invited a friend of his, Haida Saju, I think you can hear us now. Would you like to turn on your camera, say hello to everybody, and maybe say hi to Mr. B, Lester, and myself, after which we would ask you then to go back to Facebook and stay there and watch the rest of the show.
Hi.
Hi there.
Yes. Hi.
Yeah, what's your name? Can you tell us your name? Because I pronounced it right or wrong, I'm not sure.
My name is Hida. Hida Saju.
Hida Saju. Nice to meet you, Hida. Where are you based? Which part of the world are you in?
I'm from India, Kerala.
Kerala. Sugam ile. Sugam tane.
Sugam Tanne.
Eniki korcha Malayalam ariyata. See, Mr. B. Well, Mr. B, I speak, being an Indian, we speak a lot of Indian languages. I know a few words here and there, a few sentences I can speak in Malayalam and a few other languages. So it's good that we have one of our fellow country people over here. Hida, I think you're a little shy, but if you'd like to show your face, say hello. Get your camera on.
No.
No, okay. Would you like to say hi to Mr. B and Lester so that after that we can carry on with our show? And then we will have you to leave and come on Facebook and watch us live. So go ahead and say hi to Mr. B. He's there.
Hi, Mr. B.
Hello, hello, how are you? And it's so nice to have you on from so far. I make friends everywhere. And so I look forward to seeing you later on this year as I visit that area.
You can say hi to Lester. There's Lester in the studio.
Hi, Hida. How are you?
I'm fine. Good.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. If you wanted an autograph from Mr. B, you need to show your face.
Oh, I'm
well, well,
I'm not
actually,
prepared.
Hida's going to be meeting Mr. B live when he's in India, definitely. And I'm sure he's
Yeah.
got a plan to go to India as well, and maybe we go with him. So, Hida, it was nice
Yes.
having you here. This is how we're going to have many other people. And by the way, Mr. B, it's the first time we actually permitted someone to come live on our talk show, and that is Hida. So, Hida, have a wonderful evening. All the best. Stay safe because we know COVID is really bad in India. Please take care of yourself and your family, friends, and your neighbors and everybody. Stay safe. Good talking to you. We'll see you some other time. All right.
All right.
Bye-bye for now.
Thank you. Talk to you again soon.
Bye-bye, Hida.
Bye.
Bye, Hida. All right. So that's Hida. She's gone. Now we're back with
and
Mr. B.
there's a story, and there's a story behind that because Rashad is in Dubai, my videographer, team member on Free Talk with Mr. B, and that's his fiance.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I know
So
him.
thank
I
you
met him.
so much. I think I'm very, very close to them online, and to him when we're there. You met him yourself, and it's such a wonderful person and wonderful people. So thank you so very much for letting her in. Thank you.
That was nice. Thanks for telling me. You see, I just did it on my own. It was instinct that told me to do it. I'm glad I did that. And yes, he's a very nice guy. By the way, he sent me the pictures he took out. Very sweet of him. I owe him a perfume bottle, by the way. So I'm definitely going
to be. When you speak about Black Diamond and you speak about other giving back theologies, that's me, that's us, that's Hida, that's Rashad. And so that's why I'm so associated with giving, loving people. I cross many like this, and some people I would not let go. And that's an example of two people I would never let go.
Very nice. Well done.
That's very nice.
They're lucky and blessed to have a friend like you. And I think we are also lucky and blessed to have you on our show and a friend. And I'm sure you know that from the minute I saw you there when I walked into the awards evening that night. Somehow I ended up at your table with you and Piki and Nisha. And I think that was a great friendship. It started off over there, continued, and it's been a nice journey so far. I mean, we met twice, but feels like I've known you for a long, long time. I guess that's the aura and that's what you bring out, which is good. So, Mr. B, we're going to go now. You told Lester and our people and all our friends over here about where you grew up. By the way, anyone has any questions for Mr. B, feel free to type it in your comments. We're going to try as much as we can to keep an eye on those comments and ask Mr. B your questions. We'll try our best. But I guess you'll be able to ask questions as and when you listen to him and more of him. So, Mr. B, you mentioned here, or rather, I got to know a little about you and your 35 years in the energy industry. I know it's not, what we want to talk about in detail, but would you be kind enough to tell us what exactly you did and what was this 35 years that you put in this industry, please, just for us to get a little bit to know you?
Well, for me, myself, the energy industry for me is an oil refinery, kind of following into the footsteps of my late mother, who was a single mom, and I subliminally didn't know that I was very interested. Just like my son, I didn't know he was very interested, and he too is in industry, my oldest son. There we've learned how to make petroleum products. And it's just really amazing how many different products is always coming from oil. From the wax on the fruit that we eat, I had a plant like that near me, to the fuel in our cars, or many plastics that we use or wear. So the world decided to be very, very attached to the petroleum and energy industry. For myself, over the 35 years, the first 15 years was in California, where I to start, stop, make, break, and do anything necessary with an oil refinery. After that, I started traveling internationally and worked in Angola, worked in Nigeria, South Korea, Japan, Thailand, Australia, here in Houston, and I've traveled many places with my industry. The last one being in Dubai, working in Kurdistan in the northern Iraq. And so it has taken me far and wide and many years to the point of becoming a teacher, trainer, facilitator of many, many students as far as the industry itself. So it's wonderful.
And how long ago was that when you gave up? Are you still part of the industry, or is it something that you stopped completely?
You don't stop as long as we're alive, we keep going. But I tend to lean more now on consulting and teaching and training. Like there's a lot of skill sets gained by others and that has given to me that I have given back also. But it doesn't really go away when you give it back. You tend to solidify it more and more. And so my next step now is to try and spend the rest of my life sharing what I have gathered, sharing what I have learned with others, just by giving it back freely. Or some companies may need a motivational encouragement for their new engineers or operations groups. And so my goal is to teach and train and share and help keep people safe, first of all, and maybe even talk about how to transition into new energies as we move over and to try and keep the world clean. Because I'm an energy guy, but I'm still kind of environmentalist.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's nice. I mean, our viewers who are listening, I think you have a wonderful trainer here as well. Not only is he a coach, not only does he have his own podcast and an inspirational speaker, but he also does training in the oil and gas industry. We also have, I think, a regular with us over here who is Pascal Monis. He's in the oil and gas industry, and I know that he is pretty active in it. So, Pascal, if you're listening and if you think your company needs a good trainer or someone to incentivize or probably speak to them on health and well-being and everything to do with the oil and gas industry, I think you should be talking to Mr. B, because he'll be in Dubai very soon, Pascal. Having said that, Mr. B, it's good to know that, because I think I also get a few people asking me for trainers in different fields, and it's good to know that you have, something that you could do in the oil and gas industry. Well, that's what I asked you. So I asked you about your energy experience. Lester, what do you want to ask Mr. B? Before, I think we'll save the best for the last, and that is when we talk about free talk with Mr. B. I think that will come at the very end, because that will be more elaborate.
Right.
We'd like to know more about it. But for now, let's go ahead with something
Sure.
more general, Lester.
Right. Mr. B, if you could turn back time and talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you tell him?
I would tell him, keep going forward, because it was looking back now, I saw that there was many things that were going to happen, but at 18, I would not have known. And so we say, if we know then what we know now, what will we do differently? I imagine there's very little I would do differently.
Oh, okay. So that means you are on the right path.
And we can call it a path, but knowing that life is a one day at a time, perfect present. The past is history. The future is mystery. So when we live today, we enjoy that perfection of today. And so I try to make every day, I know you'll talk about it later, but I try to make every day a giving back day. And the first giving back I give to myself is the smile of approval of myself, saying, hey, today is a good day. I'm awake and well. And so looking back, I wouldn't want to change now.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, by the way, we have Piki Nanda. She's very supportive. Not only did she come on our show, but she's supportive of TNG. She's always there. She was there for Val's live talk with us. She was there for Tanya's. And now she's here for you as well, by the way. She says, Mr. B, amazing. So you can say hi to her.
Hello. This is one of my favorite persons too.
Yeah, she's a very sweet lady.
So very much. Nice to see you.
And we have one of our moderators who's not been with us for a long, long time because her mom wasn't keeping well and her son wasn't keeping well. Mary Ann Josephine D'Souza Good to see you live with us. Thank you for coming back. It's really, really nice having you here. Vicky,
Nice to see you here.
Vicky Nanda says, nice question, Lester. That was a good one. All right. Thanks, Lester, for that. Mr. B, I think let's get back to your, I think let's our viewers know about your family, because a lot of the young girls out there want to know if you're single or married. You already mentioned about your son, so you obviously have kids. But do tell us a little about your life. We'd like to know about your family, kids, how many, how big, what they're doing. In brief, if you don't mind sharing it with us, please.
Yes, it's not a problem. I've been married for 40 years. And again, being in my 40th year, I have a 38-year-old and a 33-year-old. My youngest son, he goes by the name of Indy Niles, but he's Timothy. And he is also one of the team members of Free Talk with Mr. B. He does the artwork, the editing. He does the music also. And so we'll be able to talk about that in a minute. But I just have two sons. My wife is a wonderful Chinese lady. And it gave me a whole different cultural perspective and global perspective. When the kids were small, we would travel to Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, and all the way through the Asiatic areas. And we also were able to bring her and the family to the island of Trinidad and Tobago to see where I come from, where she came from. And so it's one of those things where you use the staying power to keep learning. And when you mix cultures, you get to learn things that you never would even imagine. And I got married at 19. That's why I didn't want to change anything at 18.
Oh, okay. So at 18, you basically knew your wife.
So that was the whole idea. If you change something at 18, the whole butterfly effect would have been disastrous in the sense it would have gone a whole different direction. So I did not want to change anything. And if I had changed anything, then I would not have met you wonderful people. And so the blessing is to let butterflies have their effect. And that was one of the titles of a episode with Cornell on, meaning let things happen the way they're supposed to happen and don't try to interfere them, just roll with it. And for my part, I feel that it turned out beautifully because, again, meeting wonderful people like you, like Picky on board, like Hida, like Rashad, like Charmaine. There's so much beautiful in the world that we shouldn't change a thing.
Very nice. A quick hi to a few of our viewers who've come in. We've got Christine Mascarenas who joined. Bhushan Murray. Thanks, Bhushan, for coming in. Always appreciate your support. Appreciate the fact that you always tag a lot of people and you bring a lot of people to our shows. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We have KJ, who's one of our moderators, who says, wow, I love Chinese food. Hey, KJ, you're going to go to Mr. B's house one day. He's going to cook. His wife's going to cook good Chinese food for us. Mr. B, by the way, you're married for 40 years. Well done. Congratulations. So is she a girl that you fell in love with during your school and college days, maybe?
During a very interesting story I give, we met at the McDonald's that I worked with, one of my first jobs in California when I was a kid. And we worked together in the drive-through. So we agreed on how we were going to facilitate the express line. Of course, those are the days there were no computers. Everything was done by hand and calculated and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so we took on our roles. I shook her hand and said, good job. So I was trying to give back a compliment back then. And of course, I made contact, and that was the end of this story. It was never going backwards on that one.
Very nice. Well done to you too.
So we're McDonald's.
That's so sweet, yeah.
McDonald's sweetheart.
That's nice. McDonald's sweethearts all the way through. Excellent.
Right.
Two lovely
So on
boys.
your anniversary, Mr. B, do you all go to McDonald's?
There are times that we have done that quite a bit. And of course, McDonald's French fries are always the best. And so the memories are there. Every time we get into that mood, we will pull out the champagne and then go down the street for some burgers and bring back home and have it with champagne. So
wow, that's very romantic.
So when you have the family and you come to Dubai with all of them, we can go to McDonald's for a meal. Unfortunately, in Dubai, we can't pop a bottle of champagne. So we'll bring McDonald's to my house and we'll pop a bottle of champagne here.
Okay, sounds like it.
Sounds like a plan. We'll do that. Well, that was good. Thanks for talking to us about your family. That was good to know a little about your family as well. Where do they live? All live in Houston?
Yes, yes. My youngest son lives in Michigan, but
Okay.
he's online regularly with the podcasting. We upload a podcast every Thursday, so he is the last one that touches it from the quality control perspective.
Oh, very nice. So they're helping you as well. That's very nice. It's really nothing like having family around you to help you with all these things because it's really meaningful and it's so nice to have them around to support you. Well done.
Yeah, so family production,
Yes.
basically.
And my youngest son in Michigan, he's the one also makes a song. He's an artist also, so he makes a song for every podcast that bears the very name. So we also have that on everywhere music is streamed. The music of Free Talk with Mr. B is available.
Nice. I have a lot of people here writing in and saying, because I mentioned about Chinese food, and I said, when we come down, we're going to get your wife to cook. Everyone's saying, I'm coming too. I'll be there. I'm sure I'm coming. It's all comments that are coming now. Everyone's interested in Chinese food. Guys, please wait for that because we've got to talk to Mr. B first. That's more important. After that, we'll have a Chinese meal for sure. All right. So we asked you about your family. I think, Lester, now over to you. Let me give you a chance to ask something as well.
Right. Thank you, Alvin. Mr. B, who is that one person who has been the most influential in your life apart from your mother?
My wife.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. I mean, at the age of 18, right? You've met her.
Right. I mean, I could elaborate, but just simply put, yes.
Right.
I'm being facetious because I mean, would you like me to elaborate?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Why not?
No, my wife was very experienced in travel when I met her, and only because of having landed in California just 2 years before me.
Oh, okay.
And with someone coming from a small village in a small island, the mental exposure will be limited, and I knew I was. And so coming from Hong Kong to San Francisco area, she brought a lot of wisdom and knowledge and background, and me coming from an island country in the village, you bring so little. So I had a lot of learning and catching up.
Exactly.
And so it was very influential, and she just stands her ground very well as far as intelligence and education. And so it helped me grow tremendously, and I appreciate that. I will always say that.
Oh, that's so wonderful. So, Mr. B, could you tell us the countries you worked and visited?
Yeah, as I was mentioning earlier, as the children were small, we've been to all of the Americas, North and South America. We've had anniversaries in Costa Rica and Panama, and took the kids to Mexico and Canada and so on. And when they were small, to show them where their mom was from and their dad was from. So we went to the Caribbean islands, and we went to Singapore, Malaysia, Vietnam, China, Hong Kong, Canton, all through those regions. For working in North America's, traveling to South America for work was related to vendors that we had to go see what they were producing for us. But it was fascinating to actually, and quite refreshing to be teacher trainer in Angola, where you're teaching indigenous groups who are very educated, but not as experienced as I would have been at that time. After 15 years with my industry, went into Angola to teach that group. And so I get to learn a lot about that country, and I tend to immerse myself in the culture when I go in. After that assignment, I went to Nigeria, where I lived and worked for 5 years, and worked in Australia. And some of our projects were facilitated in South Korea, in Japan, and I think it was the shipyards in Kure, Japan. And so it was a lot of interesting travel, where I was teaching the top side of a depropanizer plant on top of a FPSO ship with a massive 15-story ship. So it was those experiences that were really awesome. Having to bring some Angolans to Japan, I had to go through Zimbabwe to get visas for them. So I went to the consulate and spoke to the embassy there to get that. So just consequentially, I get to go a lot of places, even like neighboring Oman from where you are. So.
Oh, okay. So you've basically been all over the world. Is there any place
Yes.
you would say home? I mean, apart from the US?
One more time?
Is there any place in the world apart from the US you would call it home?
I would not call any place home, but one time we were driving around here and we wondered what's our favorite city? And Valencia, Spain would be my favorite. You know, every time I go to Valencia, I get the emotions of belonging in a sense. The feeling is great. We really had a good time there. And some other places I'll go, there's a country inside of Italy called San Marino, way up in the hills. And that would be a wonderful place to visit, again, because the pictorial view is so amazing. So all of those kind of things I like. Lake Como in northern Italy, very picturesque also. So all of those type of things, I guess I feel like I'm spoiled, so I like.
Right. No, I mean, that shows that you're a romantic person too.
Yes. I would say so.
Well, ladies, sorry for all of you who've been waiting for Mr. B to come on. And rightly said, KJ, you know what KJ says? She says, Mr. B, you're very grounded, nice. And in response to that, Piki Nanda, you know what she says? Absolutely. He is an amazing, it is amazing energy to meet him in person, which is true. That I vouch for, definitely. So you're getting some nice comments over there.
Right. In fact, Mr. B is so poised and so calm.
Zareen, you know what Zareen Dick says? She says romantic and humble too. Wow. He is. He's humble. He's romantic. I mean, look at that smile. As Lester said, the poise and everything. You're the whole
calmness. Yeah, exactly.
Good. Mr. B, I know that I follow you and you follow me on Instagram. I mean, I have only a few hundred people on Instagram, but I'm on LinkedIn and I think you're on LinkedIn. We've connected pretty much on social media, on Facebook and everywhere. What's with the food on your personal Instagram page?
Okay, interesting. I'm glad you asked. I was looking for things to do when I retired. So I first retired in 2016. Of course, we all like to eat. And I asked my wife, please teach me how to cook properly. And I had a mental thought that I needed to make gravy and sauces for everything. And she says, no. She worked as a restaurant manager and worked in the restaurant industry and says, that kind of just camouflages the food. And no discredit to people who make fine roux and other sauces. But she taught me that and again, I asked her to get as close as possible. And the Asian culture does that too. They get as close as possible to the live food. So meaning like the vegetables must not be overcooked. It must be crispy. The meats may be, let me leave the meat alone. Let's go to shrimp. The shrimp will be almost flopping before you cook it and so on. So it's really, really crisp and gentle. And so I wanted to learn how to cook properly. And so she was teaching me how to. And those were the results of what we cooked and what she taught me how to cook. And we ate it all, for sure. And nice. We eat everything we cook. And cool. Again, that's what I thought I was going to be doing, retirement. I did not know I was going to be back in Dubai as a consultant, and I did not know starting in October that I was going to be doing all of this. And so it's pretty amazing right now.
Nice. Nicola, she says that very Mr. Nice. B seems to be a very down-to-earth person. Yes, he is, Nicola. Nicola is another admin of ours, by the way. She's there. Bhushan, thank you again. I watch her. She's been tagging a lot of people. Thank you, Bhushan. Well appreciated, I must say. Right. KJ, wow, yes, it's true. What your wife says, we eat healthy as Asians.
Yes. I mean, as I said, I did not get to 60 by accident. My wife really helped a lot. Take good care of us and educate me in healthier eating, healthier living.
You know, if you look like you're 35, like I said when we started the show, your wife being Chinese, I'm sure she looks like she's only 25.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Mr. B, sorry, I'm saying Mr. Bhushan. Actually, okay, for those of you who joined us late, Mr. B, his real name is Bertrand Stevens St. Louis. We have only 20 minutes to go for probably, 20 minutes to go. So what we'll do now is, since you enjoy your cup of tea, we want to have a cup of tea as well. We'll take a quick short break. Lester's going to play the 2 videos of our sponsors. We'll come back and start with your podcast because we'd like to talk about Free Talk with Mr. B. So hang in there, everyone. Don't leave. Just get yourselves a cup of tea, freshen up, come back again, grab your seats, and let's listen to Mr. B after that. Over to you, Lester.
Dream Machine, we bring out the music in you.
And we are back.
We are back. Lester, did you have your cup of tea so fast?
I couldn't. It's too
Lester,
hot.
which jab did you get? Did you go in? You got the Pfizer? Which one did you get?
I got the Sinopharm,
Oh, there you are. He's following Mr. B. He's got the Chinese one. Good.
the Chinese one, but I need to get a booster for that.
No, but that's supposed to be good. I heard a lot of good things about Sinopharm, Pfizer. We have Amina Konate, who's also coming in, but we cannot get her in right now. Sorry, Amina. We'll bring you in some other time. But now it's time for us, ladies and gentlemen, to talk about Mr. B's.
Yes, podcast.
Mr. B's Free Talk with Mr. B is what we're going to be talking about. Lester, would you like to start? And then after that, let me talk a little bit, and then we'll leave it to Mr. B to explain to us furthermore.
Right. So, Mr. B, you have an inspiring podcast series which is called Free Talk with Mr. B, where you get an ordinary people and give them a chance to share their life experiences. Why did you come about this, and what inspired you to start this podcast?
And thank you for asking. First of all, the pandemic makes us think. And when everyone is home thinking, a lot of us should do something different with our lives. And so it's really good, or a positive, good outcome from this event. Maybe it happened to others 100 years ago, but this is our time, our event. Having been retired, I was in Dubai and working from the Burj Khalifa, what we were calling home at the moment, and waiting to come back to the United States or keep working. And so I knew that I needed to do something again. I realized how much time I had. I need to do something other than just cooking exotic meals for myself and my wife.
Right.
And so I always wanted to give back, in a sense that many people gave to me. Many years in my industry, I was given information, education, opportunities to try things, do things, to teach, to train, to travel. And I did not want to perish with all of these things in my head. So I wanted to give back. And so being a philanthropist, I thought, just does not mean that you have to go around with a lot of dollars and pass it out. In fact, I think it's ineffective, just passing out dollars or getting my name on the wing of a hospital or something. No, don't get me wrong.
Right.
That is nice in itself, and it's wonderful and necessary. But all the rest of us want to have the opportunity to do something too. So my mindset said, if there's more joy in giving, I would like to see if everyone could have that joy. So what can they give to have that joy of giving? Well, I thought, wait a minute, let's see, $1 million has a value, $1 million dirhams have a value, millions of rupees have value, but what is priceless? And in my industry, we always said you can bring someone with a lot of education and you can teach and train them something, but you cannot really give them experience. That was priceless. And so we thought that there's an opportunity that people can share their experiences from around the world, and somewhere else in the world, even one little tidbit someone can get out of it means mission accomplished. And so the podcast was brought on in my mindset, and I spoke to my son and he agreed that we can share experiences and let someone else from somewhere around the world benefit from it to whatever extent that they can. And that tidbit was giving back. They were receiving, podcasters were giving, and everyone were able to participate in a philanthropical style giving.
Right. Yes, that's very inspiring, Mr. B.
Thank you. And so that's what motivated it to get started and get going. Of course, my son said we cannot do it half-heartedly. So he agreed to support and create and edit and make music behind it and do the artwork and make sure Mr. B can look good doing it. And so that our guests, when they get the results or the product of their interview, that it will look fantastic afterwards and they can feel very proud about being on.
Right. Yes, exactly. In fact, I've, looked at your podcast and also heard some of them. It's very inspiring. And I think people should, go and have a look at your podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's called Free Talk with Mr. B.
Sorry, guys, I'm going to admit Amina, because she's been waiting for a long time, and I feel horrible to say bye to her without getting her in. Hi, Amina. Welcome. How are you?
Hi, thank
Hi,
you.
Amina.
Hello. Sorry, I'm late.
No, it's not late. Don't worry. Actually, we were talking to Mr. B, but since you're here, we said let's bring you in to say hello. Please say hi to Mr. B. He's here. You have Lester, who's in our studio, and I'm Alvin Stevens sitting over here, and you are Amina Konate. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
Where are you based, Amina?
Goodbye.
Oh, she's in Dubai.
Oh, you're in Dubai. All right. So we
Yeah.
three are in the same place. I'm in Dubai, Lester's in Dubai, and Mr. B is going to be in Dubai very soon. But it was lovely. Say hi to
that's
Mr.
nice.
B. Yeah, please say hi to Mr. B and say hi to all our viewers as well.
Yes, hello everyone. Hello, Mr. B. I'm a big fan of your podcast.
Oh, wow. We have a fan, Mr.
Oh,
B.
thank you.
So I brought in your fans. That was nice. Amina, thank you for joining us. And do feel free to sign up and join our Facebook group. We have two Facebook groups called the Talent Networking Group and TNGlive. This particular Zoom live is actually streamed on Facebook, so everyone's watching it there. But thank you for joining us, and I hope when Mr. B is here sometime, we get to meet you. Probably I met you, I don't remember, but we probably met at one of the events, I guess, but we'll see you in future sometime for sure. Thanks for joining us.
Definitely. Oh, that's it? It was over? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. Oh my God.
No, don't feel bad. We're going to have
my
you back
goodness.
again. You'll come and talk to us for another 1 hour sometime in future for sure.
All right. Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Mr. B, you want to say bye-bye to her?
Well, thank you for coming on. I appreciate having a fan on. I just noticed with our analytics, we noticed in our analytics that we're being streamed in about 39 different countries. And so we really appreciate how strong the fan base is in Dubai. It's very competitive with the US, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Lovely. So we're going to get back to talking to Mr. B and his podcast. For now, we'll say bye to Amina and we'll see her again very soon. Thanks, Amina. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
Hi, Amina.
Bye. Bye.
All right. So we're back with Mr. B. Now, Mr. B, we just got another 10 minutes or so, I think, before we wind up. Coming back to your podcast, yes, I know you did speak a little bit about it, but for our viewers, could you probably elaborate a little so that people would know who should come onto your free talk with Mr. B? I mean, just tell them about your show, what the show is all about, what your podcast is all about, and who should be coming, onto the free talk with you. I mean, what are you looking for in people? I mean, are they normal people, celebrities, inspirational speakers? Just talk about it. We'll give you the next 3-4 minutes. It's over to you. Please go ahead.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that opportunity. Free Talk with Mr. B is for normal people. If you are an abnormal person, by the time you come on to Free Talk with Mr. B, you will be a normal person. If you are a movie star, you have to take off your movie star hat and put on your normal person hat. And the reason is we want to make it comfortable that normal, everyday people can come on to Free Talk. So a platform where normal, everyday people can share their experience, they can come on. Whether you're a young entrepreneur, whether you're a single mom, whether you're, again, just starting your own business, or whether you had a solution about how to raise a child, it doesn't make a difference. It's something or an opportunity platform where you can give something back freely, and that's why it's Free Talk. At first, I did not know how to connect Mr. B. When my son says, "Dad, free talk," you don't, entrepreneurial business or styles or philanthropy styles should be giving freely. And he knew me enough because I realized, yes, I always say I got freely, so I want to give back freely. So we encourage people to come on if they desire to tell their story, to share it with other people somewhere around the world. The thing is, we do not know who will hear a word of encouragement. We do not know who will be motivated. We do not know who will solve a small problem. So the whole world probably should have podcasts or have speaking programs like you are. Think about it, Alwyn. You have is it one a week you do?
Yes, we do it once a week.
Once a week, yeah.
And I podcast once a week. So in 1 year, you only have 52 segments. For myself, I only have 52 podcasts I can do in a year. But we have billions of people in the world, and we need people to talk. We need people to listen. We need to engage, encourage, build up. And if we can do it without feeling the need to have a bunch of money in our hands to do it, I think your t-shirt says no money.
It says no money. But then it also says no money, no honey after that.
Okay. But the honey we have is priceless in that we can come here on a program with no money and still give priceless things to each other, hear each other, see how many or how much more similarities we have than our differences. And so if we perpetuate these talk shows, these podcasts, these programs, we will have the world talking. And it's not like it's competitive. Yes, oh gosh, everyone should have shows in every town, getting people talking. It's such a beautiful healing process. And so I look forward to always having anyone on, and they can contact me. They can email me at Mr. B at Free Talk with Mr. B and make arrangements to come on the program. Again, there's only 52 slots in a year, so it takes time to get on. I'm so honored that I get on with you too, because again, it's such a selective program when you only can select one of 52 weeks. But definitely, we all should keep doing what we're doing, and we should all keep speaking, presenting, and podcasting.
Well said.
Yes.
Picky says this is just so motivating and helps reach out to people in the world, irrespective of where and what they do. Mr. B, what you just said resonates so well with us is because basically what we do on TNG, not just T-Talk, I mean, we run these two groups, right? So the Talent Networking Group and TNGlive, we do exactly what you just mentioned about the kind of people you would like to have on your show. We don't look at celebrities. We're not looking at actors and actresses and popular musicians and stuff like that. What we look for is daily normal people like you and me and Lester and everybody else who we want, we bring them on, we encourage them to come, to have guts, to get out of their shell, post their talents, showcase their talents, no matter what the talent is, we encourage them to come live, and that's why we have TNGlive, like where we are right now, and we motivate these people when they come there. So we motivate them, we encourage them, we uplift them, and we give them reason to be proud of themselves. And everything done without expectation. We don't expect anything from them. Yes, I wish we could have called our show Free with TNG or something like that, but we don't want to take away your copyrights because that's a very nice tagline. I mean, it's I was looking at it actually, with you sitting up here, and I'm looking at you, and in the background, and I was going to ask you why free talk, but you already answered my question before I could ask you the question, and your son was right in what he proposed to you. So Bhushan, you're making me laugh actually. Bhushan says, my talent is eating Chinese food, which is not bad. It doesn't matter. Come out there and show us how you eat Chinese food. Chopsticks is a talent, by the way.
Chopsticks.
Yeah. So, Mr. B, that's what we do. And our talk shows, honestly, like you rightly said, 52 weeks. We also look for people who are inspiring and motivating. We're not looking for celebrities who are known and recognized. Yes, in our initial inaugural one, we did have some celebrities. They were musicians from America and from India. They were celebrities who were known. But after that, we decided we only want normal people to talk about their stories, their life, because through those stories and through what you speak and people like you speak, you motivate a lot of other people as well. And that's exactly what we intend doing. So, you know what, without even knowing much about what you were going to talk today about, you actually hit on every single right note, I must say. That was really good. And thanks for that, because what you explained was a perfect way to tell everyone who's watching us today and the ones who'll watch later, because the recording will remain over there. So please do us a favor. I know you are there on TNG, but if you watch what we do, I would appreciate it if you see someone you feel is good, someone who deserves to be on your show, and if you could spare a slot or two in your schedule, feel free to approach them either directly on our groups or through us. Invite them to your show. We'll be pleased to even air that, because I think there are many out here with us as well. We've got about 12,000 plus people who definitely would be deserving to be on your show. So look out for them. And the others, of course, I'm going to leave it again to you to explain to them. Please tell them your Insta handle, your Facebook account, your email address. Let people get on, connect with you, and also watch your podcast. Lester did a good thing by watching a few of yours. I'm being honest and telling you, I haven't yet watched one, but I will watch one definitely very soon. I'll watch a couple of them. So please go. Now over to you to give all your details.
Yeah. And I know we use the word watch because we live in a watching visual world. But the podcasts are listening podcasts. So it's very impactful to spend time while on the way to work or lounging or whatever they're doing, cooking, and you can listen to a podcast. Yes, the YouTube channel, Free Talk with Mr. B, is up for people who want to watch other programs and get the information about what the guest is sharing. But there was something you hit, a note that you hit about who can come on. There is no selection for being on with Free Talk with Mr. B. The only thing we select is like which week can you get on and which week can we publish, because there's only so many weeks in a year. But everyone is so even. Everyone is so equal. Everyone is so us. Everyone is so me. And everyone has some tidbit to share, because I learned a lot in my life, but I'm always picking up something new from every guest that came on. And it was fascinating to see that. It's fascinating to feel that. And the handles, as far as social media and so on, everywhere you go, it's going to be Free Talk with Mr. B. So if you Google it, if you look as where podcasts are published, if you look where you stream your music, you'll get the music of Free Talk with Mr. B. If you're on YouTube, it's same thing. It's Free Talk with Mr. B. If you're on LinkedIn, Free Talk with Mr. B. Free Talk with Mr. B is everywhere. And if you want to contact me, you can email Mr. B at freetalkwithmrb.com. And so that's the best way to communicate with me, to start talking about how you can get on, and I can make arrangement for anywhere in the world that you can come on to a podcast. If you want a video cast, you can do it through Zooming. And when I'm in Dubai, people can connect with me there to do a face-to-face if necessary. But everyone is welcome, just understanding there's only so much time in a year or so many weeks in a year. I appreciate that.
Awesome. Thank you for correcting me. I stand corrected. Yes, a podcast is listening, but we're so used to this T-Talk and our TNG videos and stuff. That's why I keep saying watching, but thanks for the correction. Zareen, thank you very much, Zareen Big. She says, love the show, would definitely want to be part of it again. Thanks so much. Really appreciate your comments. And I think you need to invite a lot more people because these shows are not about us. These shows are about people like Mr. B and the other guests we've had on our show who are very inspiring and motivating. And I think, you know what, it's a time when we all are sitting at home because of the pandemic. I mean, especially in India, you know, people are under lockdown. You're sitting at home. People are depressed and worried and scared, and there's so much going on in our minds. You know, I think sometimes when you let go of yourself and take some time off and listen to people like this, there's a lot that we can learn. There's a lot that we can understand, and probably it will help us also in our day-to-day living. So do tune in because we have a lot more interesting guests who are going to keep coming back. And should you want us to bring our past guests back, like Mr. B or Piki or Val or Tanya or anybody for that matter, please let us know because we will, like, I think, who was it last week? Wasn't it Lester? We had Tanya. Tanya was,
Yes.
you know, people loved her show. Everybody asked us to bring her back again. And she was very obliging. She'd love to come back. So I'm sure our guests will come back. Should you all want them to come back again? So please write in and let us know. And oh, Bhushan, thank you. She says, yes, we will tag a lot more next time for sure, Alvin. Thank you, Bhushan. Salute to you. Thank you. I respect you, really. Thank you very much. So having said that, I think everyone heard now. You can reach Mr. B by just Googling him, Mr. B. And there's only one Mr. B. There's no other Mr. B for sure. So Mr. B, and then email him.
At least
Mr.
free
B.
talk with Mr. B.
And yeah,
At least
exactly.
free talk with Mr. B
Yes.
anyway.
Correct.
Talk with Mr. B. Otherwise, you'll get the Mr. Big B.
Oh yeah,
Right.
you get Mr. Bachchan, our famous actor. Yes. So free talk with Mr. B. You can email him, Mr. B, at free talk with Mr. B. Google him, LinkedIn, wherever possible. He's very active now on Instagram, so please go there, follow him, like him, and he's a likable person, lovable person. So why not? Lester. Now
Yes.
that we've had quite a bit, and I think we've already touched the clock. It's 8:05.
Yes.
Free to ask Mr. B something else. Mr. B, after that, we'll give you a minute or two to talk to our viewers. Anything you want to tell them, tell us. Whatever you want to say, feel free. After which we'll say our goodbyes and we'll end the show. Over to you, Lester.
So that was Lester.
Right. Mr. B, you wanted to say something?
No, I wanted to make sure it was not me yet.
Oh, okay. Okay. Mr. B, now since you've started your podcasting, what's the biggest challenge you have in this role and how are you going to overcome it?
I haven't had much of a challenge as a podcaster. Just the sympathy, the empathy that comes out, because I am the type of person who wants to solve every problem I run into. And I have to discipline myself that I cannot solve every problem physically, but emotionally I can share the empathy that's necessary and to make others feel that they can overcome anything they're going through, because we all have been through many things. I'm sure yourself and Alwyn can attest to that. And so
Right.
encouraging and motivating people is sometimes it is maybe healing. And so I encourage everyone who's listening and everyone that will listen to do just that, because the world needs healing from all of us, from all of each other, our neighbors.
Well said.
Right. Very well said.
Well said. Thank you, Mr. B. That was really, really nice. And I see a lot of comments coming in. Yes, yes, please bring him back on our show. Nicola says, thank you so much for coming on our show, Mr. B. People do appreciate what you said and your time, of course. We appreciate your time. Mr. B, over to you. I would like you to say whatever comes to your mind and your heart. Feel free to speak out, after which I'll come in and say our goodbyes.
And thank you so much, both of you, for having me on the show. I am humbled and appreciative. I am at the time in the middle of a book called The Art of Giving Back, and try to itemize some of these thinkings into the book as far as telling all of us how we can give back. Sometimes we think quite large, and try to do big things. But there was a writing in scriptural past that says when you're faithful in little things, you can be faithful in much. So it means you can start off with something really little. So I encourage the world to give back a smile. I encourage the world to give back a hello. And I encourage the world to, when you go through a door, hold the door open, look around and see there's someone else behind you trying to come in also, so the door doesn't hit them in their faces. And so these three giving back, simple giving back mechanisms can be exercised by everyone right away, and see if it doesn't bring you joy. Smile first at yourself in the mirror every morning and everyone else you meet. Say hello in any language you can figure out, and hold the door open for anyone. And in fact, when you hold the door open and you look back and no one was there, you still get that satisfactory feeling that your attitude was you looked and you tried. So I'm encouraging people to try those three things first. And that will be the attitude of giving back that they're going to develop. And I look forward to talking more about this very subject.
Well said, well said. Lester, we need an applause for that. Well said. Well,
Thank you.
Mr. B, rightly put again. I think, no matter what we're going through, it doesn't matter, difficult times, good times, sad times, whatever the reason is, I think it costs nothing to smile. So smile, because that smile can make a whole world of difference, not only to yourself, but to everybody around you, and the whole world will smile with you.
The giver and the receiver.
Exactly, the giver and the receiver. I agree. And I think with that, I think we're going to probably it's time for us to end the show. Lester, over to you to say bye, and then I'll come back and close the show.
Right. Thank you, Alvin. Mr. B, first of all, thank you for taking the time, to come on our Tea Talk program. I appreciate all the advice and information you have provided, which will definitely be liked by all our audiences. And I will definitely be listening to your podcast, which is Free Talk with Mr. B. Thank you, and appreciate the work you're doing. Thank you.
My pleasure to both of you.
Thank you, Lester. Well, Mr. B, my turn to say bye to you, and on behalf of all our viewers and everyone who's watching us and who will watch you in the future as well. Thank you very much. We truly appreciate your time. It's not easy, I know, during a busy schedule to come and sit with us for an hour. It takes a lot of preparation, and you were very smooth. You were very, you were flowing. Really, it was so nice listening to you. We can go on and on and on and on, but then everything has to come to an end. So even this episode has to end. So we have to say bye to you, but I'm sure we're going to be having you back again. Could be another topic, but we'll definitely get you back on our show. At the same time, I look forward to meeting you in Dubai when you're here next. Lester and me and a few of us who are here in Dubai from the team itself would definitely like to meet with you, because I'm sure it'll be very, I won't say the word inspiring, because I've already been inspired by you. So I would say it would be a pleasure to meet with you, sit and have a cup of coffee at least, for sure. And we look forward to that. So in the meanwhile, goodbye to you. Thank you very much. Hello to your wife, your lovely wife, and your two sons. Thank them for the support, for supporting you. And please take care of yourselves, stay safe. And like I always say to everyone out there, not just in India, but particularly in India, things are bad. It's getting better. And I'm sure with the vaccinations coming in, we will jump back very soon. So please hang in there. Please, please, please stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Protect yourselves. Wear your mask. Sanitize. And stay at home if you don't need to go out. If you're under lockdown, there's a lot that you can do, including coming and enjoying on TNG. So please stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Everything's going to be okay. Mr. B, thank you once again. Goodbye. God bless you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Take care. Thank you both. Thank you both.
Let's over to you at the studio. We'll listen to watch our sponsor videos, after which we're going to close the show. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
right. So that's it, Lester. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night from the TNG family and from the studio. Lots of love from all of us. Till next Friday. It's goodbye.